Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, in one of my other reports, I talked about these folks that had come up here from West Virginia to fish for muskies. And I told you that they spent 3 days in the beginning of their trip and had no luck at all. And yet these are good fishermen. And these were people that really had spent their life fishing and hunting, and it was an important thing to them. And then I put them together with somebody that lives up here, that fishes these waters, that's grown up, and that understands what's at stake in catching the fish out of our waters. And everything changed. And they went from having a maybe even doubtful trip where they maybe started wondering about the information that I had passed on about the fabulous muskie fishing in our area. And they ended up feeling that this was the place of their Shangri-La, where they were going to come back every year from this point on and have an experience that they've never found anyplace else. Now, the key to this, number one, you got to have the fish there that you talk about. You got to have this resource, which we have, which I think is even greater than what I believe. But the second thing is, if you don't know where the fish are, if you don't know what the fish seem to prefer, if you don't know the type of structure that's typical in our area and how to do it, if you don't know when the fish feed, all these things come from experience. And new people coming from an area, they don't know any of this. They can't possibly, because every area has, even though there's similarities, there's differences. And to go to another level of this, and I talked about this one time earlier, but this just brought it all back into perspective. I had talked to a guy one day. I was fishing along the river, and he saw me. I was coming back to my car, and he wanted to talk to me about fishing. But what he really wanted to tell me was his life experience and how one of the big changes was, for years he'd gone to the Salmon River to try to catch a salmon and never caught one. And this year he decided, because his family, during a time of tremendous crisis in his life and sadness, his family had come together and friends to try to help him through this. And one of the things he wanted to return to them is to take them fishing on the Salmon River. But this time he decided, I'm going to get a guide. And that trip to the Salmon River affected him so much in a joyous, positive, healing manner that he wanted to talk to a total stranger, me, by the side of the road, and tell me the story of how getting these guides had changed his life. Now, I may be exaggerating the impact of all this, but I don't think so. And I think it's important for us to remember, my mission has been for several years to try to bring more people to experience what this area has given me. And it can give them the same thing if they only open themselves up to the joys of experiencing the outdoors. And when we bring these people here, I want to make sure that they can enjoy it. And that's why the importance of our infrastructure, having nice places for them to stay, nice restaurants. They don't have to be fancy or anything else, where they can go in and enjoy a meal. It's all part of the experience of coming here. And whether they catch fish or not, or get into fish or not, is a big, huge part of what can keep them coming back. And I think it's important that we have more and more guides to try to fulfill this mission, which I think has become our new mission. We need to make sure the people that come here experience what we project to be a dream vacation for anyone that loves to fish. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.